everyone to please stand. We will have the pledge and prayer.
Okay. Would y'all bow your heads, please? Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you, dear God, for this gorgeous day that you blessed us with. We just want to thank you for loving us, Lord. Just forgive us where we failed you. We want to thank you for wisdom tonight to conduct the city's business, and just give us guidance and wisdom. We pray and ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all councilmen are present. Each councilman have in his packet there a review of the minutes of the last meeting. What is the pledge of the council on the April 4th, 2017 meeting and the work session on April 4th, 20 regular session?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt the minutes as written for both sessions.
Second it. We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is adoption of the agenda for tonight. What is the pledge of the council?
Mr. President, I make a motion we adopt the agenda as submitted.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the minutes adopt the agenda as written. All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Those opposed, the ayes have it. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is privilege of the floor, where you're allowed to come up and speak 3 minutes to the council on certain items. Do we have anyone that you need to come? Okay, Ms. Amy Foster, okay?
I can sort of better explain it. I'm Amy Foster. I've been working to pull or really get sponsors for animals out of the City Pound colony, and I would like to see if there's any progress we could make in making it free for 501c3 rescues to pull instead of having to pay $165 for a nonprofit organization to pull from there. I've been able to work with TARP out of Troy, All Breeds in Daleville, and also SOS to get them, into a rescue and better able to find them a home. But I've had to raise $2,100 in 3 weeks to do that, and that shouldn't be how it, it should be. It should be free for legitimate rescues to pull. I'm fine with an adoption, adoption fee, that's fine if someone, a private citizen, is going to adopt, but a rescue needs free pull.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we want to thank you for coming, and we will take this under advisement.
Okay.
Sure thing.
And if I could be kept up to date on the progress of this to see what kind of agreements are being made with the pound, since I work so closely with it.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, my recommendation would be to let the city attorney check into that, and would be happy to keep you informed from a standpoint with the permission of the council. If the council so fits to allow me to keep Ms. Foster informed.
Sure. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. President, are we gonna get her contact information? Okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is old business, so we'll have a public hearing and consideration for ABC license request for Cafe Roma. At this point, we're gonna call for a public hearing on request from Cafe Roma for a restaurant retail liquor license on premises located at 101 South Main Street. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak, for or against anything? If not, let the record show that we have held a public hearing. And now, we will take in consideration this request. What is the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion we grant the ABC license request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is request permission to reject bids and award negotiated bids. Chief Jones.
A few weeks ago, we bidded the video cameras for the 14 new cars that we have on order. And to bring you up to speed on that, they're out there made somewhere and they're being shipped in different locations to the city. So we're hoping to see those in 2 or 3 weeks. But we did the bid on the cars. I mean, on the Digital Ally radio equipment. They were the only bid, and they failed to get within the scope of the bid. The bid was simply the price of the camera, and there would be no installation cost and no professional fees. After we, since they were the only bidder, we negotiated with them, which we can under state law, and they took those fees away, and so we went back to the original cost of $56,350 as opposed to $65,950 with the installation and added fees on it. And that's why when asked the original bid, we rejected and then approve the negotiated price, which is way under budget. We had like $70,000 budget for this, and it's just short of 60, so 56,000 or something.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we reject the bid as requested.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to reject the bid.
Do you
Are
want
there any
to reward the
questions?
negotiated bid? Add
Yeah,
that to
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
point
it
of
now.
order, I think
We're gonna do
it in
one
two
at a time.
separate.
Two
Okay.
separate, yeah. All right, questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. All right. Next, we will, vote to accept the $56,350 dollars for the awarding of the negotiated bid. What is the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion that we accept the negotiated bid of $56,350.
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is new business, review and consider resolution 4/18/17.
You missed one.
Oh,
Parks and Rec.
next, Recreation Department, Billy Powell would be excited over this. Request permission to award bids for the park and recreation for Donaldson Park security lights. This is on the recommendation of Billy Powell, Parks and Recreation Director, to award the bids for electrical installation and materials to be to the lowest bidder meeting specification. And the question to Billy for you. Yes, sir.
If I may, I would ask Mr. Powell to come to the
All right.
podium and give you a description of what's transpiring.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. As I talked about in the work session about us wanting to replace some old light poles and security lights at Donaldson Park that spread out among the park. I went out and to 5 different companies to get price quotes from them on materials, and we we have a spreadsheet that I presented to you all, about the different costs on each line item, material costs. I feel like if I'm asking approval to go with the lowest cost for each line item. There's 3 different companies that will receive receive benefits from this. Also, there's the scope of work. The scope of work is basically what I'm asking is that the Parks and Rec will do some of the work, such as trenching the lines, putting conduit, and burying the trenches, filling in the trenches, and then we would ask a contractor to come in and take down the old poles, put up the new poles, and the light fixtures, and with all the materials that we provide to them. The total project came in about $28,000, which we are under budget at this time.
Okay, after hearing from Billy, are there any questions? If not,
I make a motion, we allow him to award the bids.
I second it. We have a motion and a second to allow him to award the bids. All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Thank you, Billy.
Thank
Thanks,
y'all.
Billy.
Next on the agenda, review and consider resolution for 1817, and this is for ALDOT, agreement for project 016999015, introduce and call for consideration of resolution 4/1817, providing for an agreement between the state of Alabama acting by and through the Alabama Department of Transportation and the City of Enterprise for the preliminary engineering right-of-the-way acquisition and construction program for resurfacing of West College Street from the western city limits east of SR 192 to US 84 bypass to Kentucky Street. Resolution 4/1817 further authorized the mayor to approve the final agreement from the state. What is the pledge of the council on this resolution for?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
what this will allow you to do is mill and resurface the asphalt section from Kentucky out to the bypass. This is for $300,000. The estimated cost on the milling and resurfacing of that street is approximately $404,000. And this would be actually budgeted over into the 2018 budget year. I did speak to our new governor yesterday. The commitment is still there. Would also tell you that we have a federal grant because of torrential rains to replace the culvert there in that area that we're working from to get properties deeded over on the right-of-way to the city so that we can perform that work. That work was scheduled for this year. It was budgeted for this year, but truthfully don't think it will occur this year. I think it will actually roll over into the 18 budget year as well. So these numbers will actually be carried over into 18 for the matching funds, as well as those that were set aside for the federal funds to replace the culvert there in a permanent fashion on College Street.
All right. After hearing from the mayor, what is the pledge of the council?
I make a motion that we accept resolution 04/1817.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept resolution 04/1817. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, but let me also say that if you have the opportunity, or any of the citizens has the opportunity to interface with Senator Holly, he played a very vital role in helping us get these funds. He and I worked on this together, so please tell him how much you thank him, but he was very instrumental in helping us.
Very good. Thank you. Next on the agenda, consider resolution 4/1817A, back to school sales tax holiday. Introduce and call for consideration of resolution 4/1817A, providing for the adoption of the sales tax holiday as set per Act 2017-120 beginning at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, July 21st, 2017, and ending at 12 midnight Sunday, July 23rd, 2017. Covered items related to purchases for school purchases to include, among other things, clothing, school supplies, and computers. What is the pleasure of the council on the sales tax holiday?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve resolution 4-18-17A.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda, review and consider contract billing. Introduce and call for consideration of the following contract billings. Item 1, Alabama Power, invoice number 1, $12,082, relocation of existing facilities, 2014 TAP sidewalk project. Invoice number 2, $15,112.13. Installation of utilities, Army Aviation Federal Credit Union car sale. Item 2, CenturyLink. Invoice number 4042017, $12,000. DSL installation, Army Aviation Federal Credit Union sale. Item 3, ALDOT. Invoice number SWA 007312, $428. Special work authorization agreement, bridge inspection. Total contract billing $39,622.13. What is the pleasure of the council on contract billing?
I make a motion to pay contract billing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda, review and consider travel requests coming from administrative and police department. Christina Messner, Human Resource Director, Alabama Association of Public Personnel, Annual Conference, July 26, 28, 2017, Montgomery, Alabama. Estimated cost $885. Police Department, Officer Ramos Padilla, Advanced Roadside Impaired Driving Enforcement Training Course, April 25th, 26th, 2017, Selma, Alabama. Estimated cost $110. What is the pleasure of the council on the travel request?
Mr. President, I move we grant the travel request.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to grant the travel request. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is request permission to dispose of inventory, and this is for the administrative, fire department, and police department. We have a list here as long as it is from Enterprise to Dothan. So what we will do, we'll just kind of take it one as a whole and all of it. So what is the pleasure of the council on this?
I make a motion we dispose of the listed state property in accordance with state law.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda, request permission for the Young Eagles rally at the airport. Introduce and call for consideration request for Michael Walters, Director of Engineering, on behalf of EAA Chapter 351 to hold their Young Eagles rally at the Enterprise Municipal Airport, April 22nd, 2017, from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m., with the registration beginning at 8:30 a.m. The rally will feature free airplane rides for children ages 8 to 17. What is the pleasure of the council on the Young Eagles rally?
I move that we grant their request.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second to grant their request. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Next on the agenda is to set the time of the July 4th work session and council meeting. We're going to introduce and call for consideration request to set the date and time of the July 4th work session and council meeting, as City Hall will be closed in observance of the 4th of July holiday.
Mr. President, I move that we change the regular meeting, first meeting of July, to Wednesday, July 5th, 2017. The work session to be at 11:30 a.m. and the regular meeting to be at 12 o'clock noon.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Would you use your voting sign? Motion passed. Next on the agenda is consider board appointment. We're gonna call for nominations for appointment to the Enterprise City Board for a 5-year term in accordance with section 1611(3) of the Code of Alabama, commencing on the date of the next regular meeting of the board in June of this year.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we appoint Mr. Reed Clark to the vacancy being begun on the Enterprise City Board of Education.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Reed Clark to the Enterprise City Board of Education. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by the usual voting sign. Motion passed. Mayor Boswell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, as of this morning, we actually had the proclamation reading for the citywide cleanup week. And if you'll allow me, I'll read the proclamation to the audience. Whereas the City of Enterprise and the Enterprise Chamber of Commerce have partnered together to organize the citywide cleanup campaign. Whereas the governing body of the City of Enterprise and the City of Enterprise Chamber of Commerce is encouraging citizens to take pride in the appearance of their homes, neighborhoods, businesses, and communities by taking advantage of city services and help with cleanup. Whereas Enterprise Chamber of Commerce will provide free garbage collection bags, and the City of Enterprise Sanitation Department will set up sanitation trucks in each of the 5 districts for residents to drop off collected garbage. Whereas local businesses, organizations, schools, the Enterprise Chamber, the City of Enterprise work together to clean specific outdoor areas and contribute together to carry out the citywide cleanup. And whereas 1 week will be spent in a collaborative effort to clean up our neighborhoods when residents of Enterprise contribute their time and effort to clean up Enterprise so as to improve our community through the action of our citizens, schools, organizations, government, business working together. And whereas all local residents are encouraged to join in cleanup activities to help keep Enterprise neighborhoods beautiful and increase our sense of pride and respect as our community. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the parties listed below, do hereby proclaim April the 17th through the 23rd, 2017 citywide cleanup week in the community, and call upon all citizens to volunteer support this effort and properly dispose of items collected on April the 22nd, 2017 at one of the 5 designated locations. Now, the team cleanup volunteers in the designated locations would be District 1, 811 Daleville Avenue, Rogers Plaza, District 2, 700 block of Crawford Avenue, the old Civic Center facility or location. District 3, 500 block of East Watts Bates Stadium. District 4, 1032 Boll Weevil Circle, Grocery Advantage parking lot. District 5 would be 1241 Rooker Boulevard, the old Big Little store. Would also like to say that we are proud to be able to partner with the Chamber, but would also like to recognize our department heads, Shannon you'll do a yeoman's task as far as with our employees, maintaining our roadsides, maintaining our cleanliness throughout our city. But this is a complete effort to actually ask citizens to work in their specific neighborhoods. Would ask those citizens to respect others, encourage them to clean up their areas, but at the same time, I've asked the media earlier this morning to make sure that we get this out, that this is for citizens only. And there'll be actually areas there that would be that they would notify or actually make those employees available their address by water bill or driver's license or something of that nature to make sure they are citizens of Enterprise before they participated in this. But to make this official, gentlemen, I need each of your signatures, and I'll pass this out, starting with Councilman Goolsbee going around. Okay, while you're doing that, I'll continue with my report, if that's okay.
Yes.
Parks and Recreation, youth baseball and softball season started April the 3rd. Church men's season started April the 6th, with church youth softball season started April the 4th. Flowers downtown have been replaced for the spring season. Tournaments hosted March 25th, USSSA Girls Fast Pitch softball tournament with 17 teams were in town. March the 25th, Deep South Baseball Tournaments, 13 teams. April the 7th and 8th, EHS Girls Fast Pitch Softball Tournament with 20 teams. Scheduled tournaments for the March and April are April the 22nd with the USSSA Girls Fast Pitch Softball Tournament. April the 29th and 30th would be Deep South Travel Ball Baseball Tournaments. Special programs and events that are occurring in Parks and Rec would be pickleball demos, free clinics, and open play April the 22nd, 9 a.m. through 1 p.m. at the Rec Center. Family Walking Club to meet every Saturday. Annual Children's Festival in the Park is set for May the 6th. Splash Pad is open for play daily from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Projects working with the Rotary Club to replace the playground equipment at Donaldson Park installation is set for April the 28th and 29th. Skate Park, the new informal bids were received on April the 10th. Bid review recommendations are in process. Engineering Department, the cover at the airport fuel farm is complete. The State of Alabama craft fee that the council actually and recently acted and collected has been $2,000 in the month of March. I commend you for that because this is off commercial construction, and this was an actually unfunded mandate that was placed upon us by the state legislature, and had you not have done that, that would have had to came out of the general fund. The airport was recently hit by lightning and had several pieces of equipment that will be filed on their insurance. Permits approved this past month have been single-family detached 10 at a $1.1 million. Residential additions 13 at $1.4 million. Commercial additions 6 at $1,013,000, and one new commercial at $800,000. Nuisance property investigated 8, notifications mailed 8, properties mitigated was 42, and at Bates Memorial Stadium, main concession, restroom building blocks are complete with roof on all buildings in process. New central fire station, HVAC units started up, light fixtures in place, fire sprinkler system complete, new water service is complete, final painting in process, and the emergency generators have been installed. Fire station number 4, brickwork and metal roof complete, interior wall painting complete, concrete drive in process. The generator has been installed and ceramic tile mostly complete at this particular point in time. Public Works, construction plans and specifications are being finalized to line the storm pipes located on Henderson, Apache Drive, and Herring Creek Drive. Upon further evaluation, it was determined that Taylor Street, a part of that, can be repaired by Public Works, but once that repair, they'll go in there and dig away from the sand and see how much more, that lining can be done there, so that's in process. A tentative schedule to begin the advertising project for bids, the week of April the 24th. Sidewalk project, the block in front of the First Baptist Church is scheduled to be finished next week. The next block will be in front of the hospital and Southern Bone and Joint. Water department, there were a total of 29 new water meter services installed in the February and March time frame. Documents are being compiled to advertise for bids for the Tabernacle Clintonville Water Tower rehab. Should advertise this month. Please be reminded, ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask our media to please help us let our citizens know that the odd, even water system is in place. Even numbers address May water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Only new applied sod may be watered every day for a total of 2 weeks. Anyone caught watering on days not allowed will be warned the first time. If caught again, they will be fined $50, and the odd days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. To give you some miscellaneous information, the credit union car sale will begin the 20th and 22nd from 8 a.m. until dark, located at the Enterprise Civic Center on Highway 167. Would add, if there's anyone interested in buying a new car, would appreciate it if you go out and purchase one. Walking tours of the historic downtown Enterprise on Saturdays, in April, begin at 10 a.m. Meet in front of the Rawls. The tour lasts about an hour. We have had 2 so far, had great participation, and looking forward to the next 2 on the 22nd and 29th of April. Movie Under the Moonlight, sponsored by Mitchell Automotive and Army Aviation Federal Credit Union, is scheduled for Saturday, May 19th, beginning at 5:30, and the movie will begin at dark at the Civic Center grounds. Free admission and concessions available, inflatables for kids, and bring your own lawn chairs. And if we do have inclement weather, we'll move that to the inside of the Civic Center. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have to report.
Okay, Councilman Gould.
Well, as you can see from the mayor's report, there's a lot going on. But I would personally like for everybody to remember this Saturday is a cleanup day. It's not just local, this is a statewide project. The Alabama PALs, People Against the Litter State, and us having these dumpsters out in each district, I just hope that everyone will get out and take good care and use of them. So I ask for your support on that.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I'd like to reiterate what Eugene has said, and thank y'all, and let's try to keep Enterprise clean.
I'd like to echo what's been said. Thank everybody for being here tonight.
Thank everybody for being here. I'd like to thank Eugene and the mayor for spearheading this citywide cleanup. I think, and thank you, Ms. Foster, for coming forward and making us aware of this situation. Look forward to working with you on that, and publicly congratulate Reed Clark on his appointment to the school board. I think Reed is uniquely qualified to really help us out there.
I would also like to ditto what has already been said. Thank everyone for coming, and of course, Ms. Foster, we're glad that you were able to come before us, and we would like to also congratulate Reed Clark on being selected as the new board member for the Enterprise